Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Math for People Who Hate Math. Today's video is about learning the basics of Excel. Excel organizes its data in terms of columns and rows. The columns are labeled with letters from the alphabet, A, B, C, etc. The rows are actually numbered 1 through infinity. Now, rows and columns theoretically can go on forever, which is very beneficial when dealing with large data sets. However, most people don't normally take advantage of that, which is fine. Unless you're a researcher, you probably don't have a whole lot of data that you're putting in Excel. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of little rectangles all throughout this whole section. Now, those rectangles have a special name called cells. In a cell, each cell actually has its own unique name. It is called by the column it's in and by the row it intersects with. So every cell in this column is called A. Every cell in this row is called 1. So this cell right here is known as A1. The cell to the right of that is B1. The cell below that is B2. And the cell to the left of that would be A2. Now, the cell is connected to this right here, which is called the ribbon. Think of the ribbon as a zoomed in version of the cell. Whatever you type in here appears in the cell, and vice versa. Whatever I type in the cell appears in the ribbon. So Excel is like a giant calculator, and it can do basic computations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, but it can also do more advanced mathematical procedures, such as computing the standard deviation or even the average of your data set. Now, if I wanted to make Excel do a simple math problem, let's say, what is 5 plus 6? What I can do is I can either double click in a single cell, or I can click on the ribbon once I have a cell highlighted, and I could enter equals the number plus the other number. When I hit enter, the cell is going to give me the output, and the cell is going to give me the output, and Excel is instantly going to highlight the next cell below that one. So if I wanted to compute something in this, in the cell that's currently highlighted A2, I could just go over to the cell or to the ribbon and type equals 5 times 6. I get another computation, or I can double click the cell I want to manipulate. So the interesting thing about the cell and ribbon relationship is that after you have Excel display the output in the cell, when you highlight that cell, the ribbon is actually going to display the formula, or what you use to actually generate the output. Excel can also show you the formula, you just have to double click. But when you double click, you have to hit enter again to make it display the output. So if I wanted to make Excel do a multiplication problem, what I have to do is type in the number and then use the asterisk, which is typically Control 8 on most keyboards, type in the other number, hit enter, and it gives me a multiplication. If I wanted Excel to do division, I have to do equals, let's say, 5 divided by 5. Gives me the output. The division symbol for Excel is going to be the /, which is typically found with the question mark on your keyboard. If I wanted Excel to do a subtraction problem, I would just type in equals 5 minus 5, enter, and give me my output. Now you may have noticed that I'm always typing in equal before I put in the computation I wanted to do. And that's because Excel is not only a calculator, it's also a word processor. So if you type in 5 plus 6, just like that, and hit enter, Excel thinks you wanted to record the actual numerals and symbol 5, the addition sign, and 6. It doesn't think that you wanted to do anything with that data. In order to signify that you want Excel to do a computation, you have to hit equal. This is true whether it's a basic computation or a more complex formula. So now let's try using Excel as a word processor, but also a calculator. Go down here to New Sheet. Alright, let's say I wanted to see how much it would cost to buy apples, oranges, and pears at different price points and at different quantities. So let's type in on this one, fruit, label the column, cost of the fruit, quantity, and the total. I'm going to buy apples, oranges, and pears. Now when you're done typing something, just hit enter and it should bring you to the next cell ready to input data. Let's say I want to make apples cost 40 cents. 0.40. Oranges are going to be worth 25 cents. Pears are going to be worth 35 cents. I want to buy 6 apples, 4 oranges, and 8 pears. To calculate the total, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit equals. Then I'm going to click the cell that has the data I want to use. In this case, I want to click B2. The name B2 actually pops in the cell and in the ribbon. I want to see how much money is going to cost by 6 apples at 40 cents a piece. I'm going to multiply B2 with C2 for my quantity. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to cost me $2.40. Now Excel is really cool because it's relational. It views this formula as you want to use the data in the cell that's 2 over from the one you're currently on, multiplied by the data in the cell 1 over to your left, and you want to put that output in the cell you're currently highlighting. So Excel views this as to generate the output for this cell, I want you to use the data in the cell 2 over to the left. Then I want you to multiply that data with the data 1 cell over to the left to generate the output for the current cell. I can even copy and paste this formula, and it's going to apply, and it's going to generate exactly what I wanted to generate. All I need to do is go to the lower right hand corner of the cell I have highlighted that has a formula I want to copy and paste. Make sure my cursor is a black plus sign. I want to left click, highlight the other cells that I want to apply the formula to. Once that is done, I'm going to release. And now I have my output. See? Notice how this cell in the ribbon, it says equals B4, which is this cell right here, times C4, which is that cell right there. So let's say I wanted to buy peaches They're going to cost 25 cents. I want to buy 10. I can reapply the formula, just drag and drop, and voila. It's going to give me my output, B5 times C5. Now, let's say that I wanted Excel to use a particular column or particular cell each time. So let's say I wanted to buy 6 of everything. What I can do, I'm going to say equals this cell times this cell, but either in the cell or in the ribbon, I need to put a $sign before the column name and a $sign before the row name. This locks it into place. I'm telling Excel that I want you to use this particular cell each and every time you perform this formula. Hit enter, and 2.4. I'm going to drag and drop and apply this to the rest of my cells. And now, you look, while the first data point changes, the second one doesn't. Excel views this formula as saying, I want to use the cell, the data in the cell that is 3 cells to the left, multiply it by the data in cell C2 to generate the output in the cell E2, and so on and so on. Now Excel also has other neat features, such as it can instantly format your data. Now Excel has other cool features, such as that it can instantly format your data. If I go over here to the $sign, I can format all my highlighted data into dollar and cents, just like that. Do the same thing with the total, with this other total column. Just press the $sign, it's going to format it for me automatically. I can also format this chart by highlighting the titles, going over here to this symbol. I want to do a thick bottom border. Perfect. Now I want to separate these labels from the rest of the data. So we can go over here. I want to do a right border. Perfect. Next, I want to center all of my data and my labels. So I'm going to highlight everything. Then I'm going to go over here to center. Now all my labels are centered in their cells, and so are my other numbers. Additionally, I want to show you a more advanced computation. So Excel actually has formulas built in. All you need to do is tell it what formula you want it to use. So I want to find the average of my totals. So I'm going to enter. So I'm going to input equals, type in average. I can either type it in myself, or I can double click the average option it gives me. Notice how it instantly has a parentheses, an open parentheses. Whenever you type in a formula, you type in the formula and then an open parentheses and then a close parentheses when you're done. So right now I have average, open parentheses. I'm going to highlight the data that I wanted to take the average of. I'm going to put a close parentheses, enter. The average is 218.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button below to see more video content like this. Thanks and have a blessed day.